Welcome to the Wisdom That Breathes channel. Across all our platforms, we try to share wisdom which is relevant and accessible to everyone. But on this particular platform, we go deeper into some of the ancient principles found within the scriptures. If you find some of the terminology difficult or inaccessible, then go over to our Keshava Swami YouTube channel where you'll be able to find other content which is perhaps more relatable. Thank you and enjoy the wisdom that breathes. Hare Krishna. So good morning to everyone. Today we are reading from Canto number 10, chapter number 33, okay, 36.
33.
Sure. Okay, 33, huh? I was told 10, 36, 39.
Then we want to hear on that one.
You want to hear on that?
Okay. And you hear the words Vikritam.
Then I'll fulfill your desire. I plan for that. Okay, this was... Okay, but actually, I was wondering because you gave me a topic. Yes. And then I saw this verse. I was thinking, what's the connection between this verse and this topic? But then I made a connection because I thought if they made a connection, there must be a connection. So I will still speak on the topic.
Yes, Maharaj.
But I will use the verse in sequence. Is that okay?
Jai Ho.
Vaya mercy. I'll try. So the topic, as I remember, is pastimes of Krishna vanishes lust. Okay, so I got this, they texted me, and then they said Bhagavatam 10, 36, 39. So, okay, that explains. I was trying to make the link. Okay, so can we get 10, 20, 36, 39? 36, 39, yeah? So as I understand, this is what you're reading in sequence, no? So you know the story, what's going on.
There's a special verse today. Otherwise, we are on third canto. We have taken the
you're on third canto. Okay. So,
yeah.
All right. So this is like completely random. So
yes,
then how did the 10, 36, 39 come?
Yes.
That was random.
It's a special verse, yes.
Okay. Krishna Santa. Hari. Okay. All right. Let's go. Muhuraho rasika bhuvi bhavuka. Today we're reading from 10th canto, chapter number 36, entitled The Slaying of the Arista, the Bull Demon. And today we're reading from text number 39. Manorathan karo tyuche jano devahatan api yujyate harsha shokabhyam Pyāgyam karomi te Manorathan karotyuche Jano devahatan-api Yujyate harsha shokabhyam Pyāgyam karomi te Manorathan karotyuche Jano devahatan-api Yujyate harsha shokabhyam Pyāgyam karomi te
Manorathan karo tucche devahatan-api Yujyate harsha shokabhyam Pyāgyam karoti me
Manorathan karo tujhe Jate harsha shokabhyam karomi te.
Mataji's. Manorathan, his desires, karoti, carries out, Uchay, fervently, Janaha, the average person, Deva, by providence, Hatan, thwarted, Api, even though, Yujyate, he is confronted, Harshashokabhyam, by happiness and distress, Tatha api, nonetheless, Agyan, order, Karomi, I will do, they, your. Translation and purport by the disciples of His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki. Translation: an ordinary person is determined to act on his desires even when fate prevents their fulfillment. Therefore he encounters both happiness and distress. Yet even though such is the case, I will execute your order. See, Krishna's arrangement, it fit with your topic. Purport. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur explains that although what Akrura said was courteous and encouraging, his hidden meaning was far different. What he really meant was this: your plan is not fit to execute, yet I will carry it out, since you are the king and I am your subject, and in any case, you are about to die. Om Jnana Timirana Tasya Jnana Shalakaya Chakshurunmitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manoishtam Savitam Yena Bhutale Svayam Rupa Tadamayam Dadati Swatanandikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavanscha Shri Yogam Sarajaram Sarvanam Vitantam Sachivam Sadekam Savadhutam Harijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Saranayala Shri Vishakanditanscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dīnabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Namaste Taptakanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishwabhanu Se Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vansha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasati Gaura Bhakta-vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Shri Prabhupada Ki Jai. So with your permission, your blessings, your merciful glance, I'll try to share something. Kamsa is trying to fulfill his lust. He's tried so many things to avoid the inevitable frustration that will come because he's about to die. So he tried so many things. Plan A, send Putana, failed. Plan B, who was next? Shakatasura, failed. Plan C, Trinavarta, failed. So many failed. I mean, now he's on plan Z.
He's running out. There's not many more ideas to come now. By this time in the Bhagavatam, all the plans have failed. Aristasura has just been killed. So in Kamsa's mind, he's thinking, okay, I got 2 more chances. Keshi and Vyomasura. But the amazing thing is, even though he's planning for Keshi and Vyomasura to come to try and kill Krishna, already he knows it's not going to work. So now he's gone past plan Z, he's now on AA. It's like the second part of the A. So now he's planning, Kesi won't work. We'll try, but it won't work. Vyomasura won't work. So he's already planning now, we have to take Krishna out. Sometimes what happens, of course India lost the World Cup. Sorry to remind you about that. But generally, when you're on home ground, I mean, there's no reason why you shouldn't win. It's a home advantage. I mean, India, best team, best track record, in the Narendra Modi Stadium. I mean, there was no reason to lose. There was no reason to lose. Of course, Krishna, na hyasya karhichit papa. No one can understand the plan of Krishna. India still lost. But generally, when you're on home advantage, it's very unlikely you lose. So Kamsa was thinking, no, the reason Krishna is winning, he's in home advantage. Take him out. Take him out. So Kamsa is now coming to Akrura. He's saying, take him out. I want you to bring Krishna. I'm going to arrange a wrestling arena. There's going to be a huge elephant. And we're going to finish Krishna off once you've taken out his territory. So this is Kamsa's plan. Akrura is hearing the whole story. He's saying, oh my God, he's still trying more things. Akrura is saying in a nice way to him, yeah, you are determined to act according to your desire, but sometimes fate will prevent. He's saying in a very nice way. But Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is basically saying, Akrura is saying to him, you're pagal, you're mad. It's not going to happen. See, British, I come from, I grew up in London. So English people are very good in diplomacy, understand? So say for example, in a management meeting, if someone comes up with an idea, Prabhus, let's do this. And then someone says in the meeting, oh, that's a very interesting idea. Basically what they're saying is, you're a fool, it's never going to work, it's absolutely crazy, and you know, why did you even say that? They won't say like that. It's an interesting idea. Interesting. Well, sometimes Prabhupada says, the rascal, he says, they have a poor fund of knowledge. It's a nice way to say, you're a fool. Poor fund of knowledge. So Akrura, he's very nice, he's very cultured, you know. And he's saying, Kamsa, your plan is going to fail. Einstein, you know how he defined madness? Einstein said madness means to keep doing the same thing and expect a different result. If you ever find someone who keeps doing the same thing, this doesn't count for chanting Hare Krishna and things like that. Before a disclaimer there. Spiritual technique is beyond these things, you know. But if you ever find a person who materially keeps doing the same thing, Puna punascharvita charvananam, Bhagavatam says, chewing the chew, doing the same thing, expecting a different result. It's madness. Therefore, Akrura has understood what Krishna has told us in the Bhagavad Gita. Yehi samsparsha jaboga dukkha yonaya evate. If you keep trying to find happiness by gratifying your body, your senses, your material desires, more and more and more, 2 houses, 2 cars, 2 mobile phones, too much. Dukkha yonaya evate. Every type of sukha in this world, pregnant within it, is dukkha. It's just waiting to be born. And therefore, Akrura is telling Kamsa, I'll do it because you're telling me to do it. But you're going to fail. Because you can't find happiness by satisfying your lust. Dushkurena nalena cha, Krishna says, it keeps burning like fire. So this is lust. We lose all our intelligence. So, how do we extinguish this lust? Because Krishna says this lust takes away all your intelligence. Oscar Wilde, he was famous. He said, I can resist everything except temptation. You can't, you have to be able to. Sometimes I give a seminar, how to transform your life by doing nothing. So people are mystified. So people are mystified. How can you transform your life by doing nothing? Do you agree? Can you transform your life by doing nothing? Can you think of a way in which it's possible to transform your life by doing absolutely nothing? Yeah, but that you're still acting, but you're spiritually acting. The way you transform your life by doing absolutely nothing is by being able to resist temptation when it comes. In that moment, if you say, I'm not going to do anything, you make incredible advancement. Don't try to outweigh lust. You have to outweight lust. That's from Chaitanya Charan Prabhu. He comes out with these nice. I don't know, he has a way with words, no? He said, if you think you have no vice, you're a novice. I don't know, his brain is working in a transcendental way. Very smart. So, we have to learn to tolerate, isn't it? What does Krishna say? What does Rupa Goswami say? Vacho vegam manasa krodha vegam jiva vegam udarapasto vegam etan veganyo vishaheta dhira sarvam apimam prithivim shashishya. Who's qualified to make disciples all over the world? Is it the one who doesn't have any pushings? No. One who's able to tolerate, one who's able to do nothing. They say the art of conversation is not just to say the right thing at the right time, but is to learn the art of not saying the wrong thing at the tempting moment. That's in ISKCON management meetings, I keep this one in front of me. The art of conversation. Be careful. Nowadays people say all kinds of things. In the world today they talk about something called toxic disinhibition. Have you heard of this? Now because people communicate online, on Facebook and all of these kind of things, because they're not seeing the person in front of them, they immediately are ready to say things, make comments, that if the person was in front of them, they would never say that. But because it's just a screen and the person somewhere far away, then we end up saying things that we later on we think, oh my God, why did I say that? You know how to start an argument on Facebook? Make a comment and just wait. It all comes. So, Akrura is trying to teach Kamsa, why are you trying to fulfill your lust, fulfill your material ambitions? You're going to fail. But Kamsa's intelligence has been taken away. In Japan, they have a proverb. The man takes a drink, and then the drink takes a drink, and then the drink takes the man. It's very deep, actually. Understand? First, the man takes a drink. Could also be woman. Equal rights. Could be anyone. Anyone. First, we make a choice. I will go to the shop, I will buy a drink. It's okay. One now and again. It's okay. Don't be a pure devotee syndrome. One now and again, it's okay. First, the man takes a drink. Later on, what happens is we develop a habit. Then what happens is you're not taking the drink anymore. The drink is taking the drink. Because you've been affected now. You're not thinking anymore. The drink is making the decision. But later on, when you become addicted, then the drink doesn't just take the drink. The drink takes the man or woman. See? This is what happens. This is how people get addicted. This is now in the Western world, this is one of the biggest things. If any of you here want to make money, this is a good business. Recovery programs. Yeah, it's a big thing. Because people get addicted to all kinds of things and then we can't come out of it. So basically, Kamsa needs to go on a recovery program, rehabilitation. Because he's lost his intelligence now. Now, when we're reading all of this, we should understand that this is also happening to me. Yes, we may not be on the scale of Kamsa, but we are going down this same trajectory. And therefore, the whole of the Bhagavad Gita, the whole of Vedic Shastra, the whole of our acharyas, what they're basically trying to teach us is how to transform lust into love. Now, we could give you many ideas for transforming lust into love from a spiritual perspective. There are many things you can do. You can study Shastra, very powerful, because it strengthens the intelligence. You can live in the mode of sattva gun. And when you live in goodness, then the effects of passion and ignorance which trigger lust will disappear. So you can live in sattva. Another thing is you can always have good association, always be surrounded by devotees. But still, all of these things in and of themselves won't do it. There's only one way to overcome lust in the deepest sense. And that is, we have to develop some love for Krishna. When I was about to take sannyas, then I spoke to His Holiness Sachinandan Maharaj. And I said, Maharaj, how did you hold to your vows your whole life with such chastity, with such determination? And then he looked at me and he said, if you want to maintain your Krishna consciousness, you have to develop some love for Krishna. Nothing else will do it. Rupa Goswami says in Padyavali, very beautiful verse, Kashaya nacha bhojana diniyaman no vavane vasato vyakhyana natava muni pratabaraj chittodbhavakshiyate kintu shpita kalinda shailatanaya tireshu vikridato govindasya padaravinda vajana rambhasya le shadapi. He says, you want to conquer Kamadev? Kashayan. You will not conquer Kamadev simply by wearing saffron robes. Nacha bhojanadi niyaman. You will not conquer Kamadev simply by having strict regulations in how you eat and how you sleep. Prabhu, no prasadam after 7 o'clock. Brahmachari. That's nice, very good, but it won't be enough. Vyakyanad, Bhakti Shastri, Bhakti Vaibhav, Bhakti Sarvabhauma, Bhakti Vedanta. Very good, you must do, but it's not enough. Atava Muni Vrata Bharaj. I will go away from all the temptation. I will go and seclude myself from all the agitations. Not enough. Kintu shpita kalinda shailatanaya. There is one boy, and he is standing on the banks of the Yamuna, and he's smiling, and he's in a threefold bending form. His name is Govinda, Govinda. And if you look at him, and if his eyes meet your eyes, then maybe, just maybe, you'll forget about everything. I'll tell you an interesting story. In lockdown, it was coming to the marathon, so I was thinking, I'm locked down, it's the marathon. I have to get out. But in UK, you couldn't move anywhere. So somehow or other, I traveled by car through the ferry and I went to France. So I did the marathon in France. It was very difficult because French people refuse to speak English. They say, you should learn our language. So I didn't know French, English, so it was very difficult. But one day I was in Paris, and I was holding a Bhagavad Gita. And one boy, he came up to me. I can't remember his name. He was a Muslim boy, maybe Ismail or Abdullah or something like that. So he said, what are you holding? So I said, oh, this is Bhagavad Gita. I said, what's your name? He said, Abdullah. It's a Muslim. Salam alaikum. When in Rome, do as Romans do. Then he said, this is Krishna. He's telling me. I'm like, yeah, I know. I said, yeah, this is Krishna. So then he said, wow. I said, you know Krishna? He said, Krishna is constantly on my mind. I was like, wow. So he said, what happened is a few years ago I was traveling in India. And so I went to many places. I visited, many places. But I went to one temple. And since I went to that temple, I can't forget Krishna. It's like, wow. I said, which temple? He said, no, you won't know. It's just some remote temple somewhere. I said, tell me, which place did you go to? He said, I went to a place called Rajasthan. I said, what? Which one? He said, I went to, you won't know. I said, no, tell me. He said, no, I went to a place, Jaipur. I said, wow. I said, which temple did you go to in Jaipur? He said, they call it the temple of Govinda. He said, I didn't go to any other temple in India. I went to this one temple. And I went in and I saw the devotion, the love, I saw Krishna. And ever since that time, I can't forget Krishna. And I was like, here's the praman. Smeram bhangi traya parichitam sachivishtirna drishtim vamsi nasya dhara kishalayam ujvalam chandrakena. Govinda akhyam haritanum ishiketi sirtopakante ma prekshishtas tavayadi bandhu sange stiranga. Rupa Goswami says, don't look at Govinda, everything will be finished. So it's very nice. We may say, but I'm looking at Govinda every day, but it's not happening. Somehow everyone has a different receptivity. We need to be conquered by Krishna. We need to taste Krishna. Sometimes people say, we should not live to eat. We should eat to live. Agree? Sure? We should not live to eat? Or we should eat to live? Eat to live? Eat to live? Wrong. Wrong. A Vaishnava lives to taste. Without rasa, what is the meaning of life? You must taste. Muhuraho rasika bhuvi bhavuka. You have to taste. But we don't want to taste the 4 types of foods. If it's prasad, of course. We want to taste the 4 types of chari bhav, the 4 types of relationship with Krishna. That's what our Vaishnava acharyas say. We must live to taste. So we have to learn how to taste. See, cooks in ISKCON are the best cooks. You have to agree, no? But it's interesting. I don't think Matajis here who are the cooks, generally you don't use cookbooks, right? Do you use cookbooks? No. It's all parampara. It's all coming down. You don't use cookbooks. But because we've forgotten how to taste, we have to look at the cookbooks of Shastra, and they give us the ingredients. So in Padyavali, Rupa Goswami gives you the recipe. Radheti nama navasundara siddhu mukdam. The first ingredient you need is Srimati Radharani's name, which is ever fresh and delicious like nectar. This is the first ingredient. Second ingredient, Krishneti nama madhuradbhuta gada dugdam. Second ingredient you need is Krishna's name, which is sweet like condensed milk, which has been stirred on the heat for a long time. Madhur adbhuta gada dugdam. Second ingredient. Third ingredient, sarvakshanam surabhiraga himena ramyam. Then you need ice. But you need the ice of pure, fragrant love for Krishna. And when you add Srimati Radharani's name to Krishna's name, and in that cup you add the ice, the fragrant ice of some bhav, some anurag, some genuine emotion for Krishna, then Rupa Goswami says, then, O tongue, which is dying of thirst, then drink to your heart's content. That's the recipe of parampara. So you may say, Prabhuji, all sounds good in theory, but in practice, let's get real. After all, wisdom that breathes. People use that one against me nowadays. This is all good, you know. Reality, what's the reality on the ground? The reality is that spiritual life is difficult, but material life is impossible. That's the reality. And spiritual life takes an extra special effort. But we can do it because Srila Prabhupada, the Acharyas have given us the recipe. But we have to become disciplined in hearing Hari Katha. We have to absorb out. This is the biggest project. The biggest project in the world is to become attached to Hari Kirtan and Hari Katha. Because if you can do that, everything else in life will work. But our mind is too chanchal, that's the problem. In the Bhagavatam it's mentioned, Prayenal payushaha sabhya kalavasmim yuge jana manda sumanda matayo manda bhagya upadrata. So all the qualifications or disqualifications of people in Kali Yuga are given. And if you look at the commentary on this verse, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, he says something amazing. So he says the first reason why spiritual life in Kali Yuga is difficult is because alpa ayusha. You have a short life. Here today, gone tomorrow. It's a short time. You don't have so much time. And then add up how many jobs you have to do, how many problems you have to resolve. You don't left with much time. But then Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says, imagine someone makes time. He says, next problem is manda. You're lazy. So now you have all the time in the world, you made the time, but you're lazy. Sometimes we're going through the year, doing service, and I want to just be in Vrindavan. Just want to hear and chant. And then you come to Vrindavan with nothing else to do, no other duties, no other responsibilities. And after 1 hour of reading, quick, get the internet connection, password, check the WhatsApp, and see what's happening. We're lazy, we can't. But then, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says, imagine you make time, first obstacle overcome, and you're not lazy, you're active. Then you'll be successful. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says, no. Third problem is, Sumandamati. Even though you're reading, giving all the time, not lazy, we don't have any mati. We have no intelligence. So we can't figure it all out. One time, one devotee, he read this chapter from the Bhagavatam, Purusha Shukta confirmed. He came to me after reading the chapter. He said, I read the whole chapter 3 times. I still don't know what the Purusha Shukta is, and I don't know what's being confirmed. I said, Sumandamati, it's very difficult because we don't have intelligence. We can't. But then Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says, imagine you make time, imagine you're not lazy, you're unintelligent, but what you do is you go to an intelligent person. So you overcome because you decide, I'm going to go to someone and hear. Then you're good, right? Then he says, next problem, Manda Bhagya. You're unfortunate because you go to the wrong person. You go to basically what we call Bhogi Yogi. You go to a wrong person. You hear from the wrong person. Avaishnav mukhod girnam bhutam harikathamritam shravanam neva kartavyam sarpachista yathapaya. You hear from a Vaishnava. But then Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says, imagine you make time. Imagine you're not lazy. Imagine you're unintelligent, but you decide to go to a devotee, and imagine you go now to a devotee who's pure. The last problem, upadruta. You're disturbed. So now you all made time. You're not lazy. You're trying. You've come to the person, not today, on a different day you will be better. But now we cannot listen and hear Harikatha because we're so disturbed. The mind is in 100 places. This is the problem. Chanchalam himana Krishna pramati balavadridam. So it takes a lot of discipline. It takes a lot of effort. Once I was with His Holiness Kadamba Maharaj. I'll end on this, then open it up. I was with His Holiness Kadamba Maharaj. So we came to a big kirtan program. And His Holiness Sachinandan Maharaj was singing. So as I walked in the room with His Holiness Kadamba Maharaj, Sachinandan Maharaj was singing, and everyone was like together, singing the holy name. It was amazing atmosphere. And His Holiness Sachinandan Maharaj was leading. And then Kadamba Maharaj, he looked at me and he said, this chanting is the mature fruit of decades of deep bhajan. You see, to chant the holy name and relish it, to read the Bhagavatam and relish it, is not a joke. It's not a playful thing. It requires decades of dedication, and that must begin now, every single day. Therefore we say, Nasta prayeshva bhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya. So it requires nityam bhagavata sevaya. This is what we have to do. So I'm speaking all these things to purify my own mind. I have no taste. But together, if we sincerely try to dedicate our hearts and lives to hearing Hari Katha, hearing Hari Kirtan, then that love that's generated will make all the lust disappear. And that is our only saving grace. Every other thing we do to try and deal with our lust is good temporarily, but it will not solve it. We can only vanish lust, make lust vanish by the pastimes of Krishna. And this is what Akrura wants to tell Kamsa, but maybe he's not in the right space right now to hear. So Kamsa still has a hope, but that hope definitely will be frustrated. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Thank you so much. Sorry, so I tried to go round and round. Make the connection. Thank you so much for your kind attention. So, should we take some questions? Okay. If anyone has any corrections, questions, comments, happy to try.
नहीं काम कर रहे हैं.
It's not working?
तब तक आप जोर से
I have to speak. I think, yeah, you speak a little louder. So Maharaj, I had a little question regarding this point which you made about doing the same thing over and over again. Like madness is defined as the person who is mad is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. So even in terms of our sadhana or our sevas, sometimes we go through the motions and the result is not coming out. So is it that we have to change something within? And sometimes we do have to change something within the sadhana. Not that we have to change the entire sadhana, but something within the sadhana. So can you shed some light on this?
Yeah, we said madness is to keep doing the same thing and expect a different result. But actually this does also count for sadhana bhakti. It's not that we need to change the activity, but what we do need to do is change our inner orientation, our inner attitude. We can't continue to keep chanting inattentively, hearing inattentively, and think that we're going to break through. Every single day, His Holiness Hridayananda Maharaj said, you have to join the Krishna consciousness movement every single day. Sometimes we have a bio, and he joined the Krishna consciousness movement in 2016. No, you have to join every single day. I saw devotees who, like His Holiness Sachinandan Maharaj, for me, he is like the embodiment of the childlike spirit of Krishna consciousness. See, I see him in classes, and it doesn't matter who's coming in the class. He will come with his notebook, he will come to here. We were in Govardhan, and at one point someone played like an excerpt from a lecture of Srila Prabhupada. So he came right to the front with his notebook, taking notes, and then he told the person, no, play again, I need to hear, I didn't hear fully, I need to. And I was thinking, after 5 decades, he's still curious, he's still eager to learn, he's still looking for improvement. If you're in that spirit of always being like a child, endlessly curious, endlessly wanting to improve, then Krishna consciousness works. But if we become familiar, if we become kind of like, you can also become a little cynical in Krishna consciousness, like, yeah, that's just the way it is. No, you can always improve. So, yes, it is madness in Krishna consciousness if someone keeps chanting inattentively for years and years and years and thinks that we're going to break through. Like, we can't do that. At one point, I just made a vow. I'm not going to chant while I drive. It's public confession here. I mean, at one point, you just need to make that vow. And you need to say, from tomorrow, I'm just not going to do that anymore. Because it's not serving my purpose. We can't pretend to ourselves that it's going to somehow awaken Krishna Prem. No, it's not. It needs to be done with quality. Therefore, constantly refining, constantly upgrading, constantly improving. And that is the progressive devotee. So yeah, let us not do the same thing. Let us be a new person. Sometimes people meet me after some time and they say, you've not changed all these years. I don't know if it's a compliment or you didn't change all these years. Is it a compliment or is it, I don't know. Nowadays I think maybe that's a problem. Maybe I didn't change. Maybe I'm just the same dry, tasteless, insensitive, offensive. So I don't know, maybe. Is that okay? Some thoughts. I guess others can give better answers than me. Runa Sindhu, the ocean of mercy.
I wanted to say that I want to thank you and in grace among Lila. But I was just thinking that even if someone he doesn't have time, he is lazy, he is not intelligent, his mind is disturbed, but both of her kathas are so beautiful and attractive that everyone gets attached to Hari Katha.
I got the mic so I can say Morgan in the pool. We are trying dim reflection. Okay. Yeah, I see something.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for this awesome lecture. My question was that sometimes in our life that lust is so deep and so subtle that we are not able to realize that it is lust, and we become stagnant in our life. So can you share some practical tip and application what we can do in our life so we can realize that it is actually we are in lust and we are degrading?
I think, Prabhu, if we're sincere and if we're thoughtful, then we'll know when those things are there. Prabhupada writes in the Bhagavatam, a devotee should be as introspective as a non-devotee is speculative. As much as a non-devotee is speculative, we should be as much introspective. We need to do a lot of soul searching. We need to always observe ourselves. Sometimes I think if someone played 3 different videos of me, one video was the Swami in his room by himself. The other video was the Swami in the public arena. The other video was the Swami with his friends. And we played all 3 videos side by side. Would it look like the same person? Of course, we act differently in different situations, but would you be able to say the principles that you're living by in each of these lives is exactly the same? If you can say yes, you can understand this is a great soul. There was one person, I can't remember his name, he was very skeptical of Srila Prabhupada. So he said, I'm going to drive him around. I'll be around with him for 1 week. Definitely, I'll find out his weak spot. So he traveled for Srila Prabhupada with 1 week, morning to evening. After 1 week, he came back. He said, this man is a sadhu. So we said, why? Why? And his answer, brilliant. He said, because I observed this man morning to evening in every forum with every single type of person, and I noticed that he was never trying to impress anyone. That's amazing. If you come across a person who's so genuine that they're not trying to pretend, they're just so genuine in all situations, you can understand this is that. So the point I guess I'm making to you, the kind of question you ask, we could answer it in many ways, and somehow Krishna inspired me in this way today. But what I would say is, yes, I could say many other things, take feedback from devotees, many other things, but we have to be able to look in our own hearts. And that's what the Vaishnava Acharyas were doing. Bhaktivinoda Thakur is looking deep within his own heart. Amara jivan sadapa rata nahiko punyera lesha. I'm looking in my own heart, I'm looking at my own life, and I'm seeing all these things. We need to be very introspective. But then we shouldn't just keep looking, where I'm falling short, or how I'm doing wrong, how bad am I? Then we also need to look at the positive, and how much opportunity, and how much service, and how many wonderful opportunities I have, and then we can improve. Something. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So much learning and so much application point and more hard work to do that. That's what I learned very much. But it's like, I don't know how, like from the childhood, I can say not come for lazily, I mean brought up. Lazy, you have been brought up. I've been brought up. And suddenly, Krishna consciousness demands its attention, sincerity, seriousness, as you said, that it continues to endeavor seriously to commit ourselves. So we try to do that after hearing, and then we try, but the anarthas also is so strong. And then the Krishna consciousness, it's not so easy to see the result, because we don't know whether we get result or not. That is also, so it's quite challenging, and then after sometimes gradually that enthusiasm goes down, even though we hear. So how to keep that, like rasas, you are saying that 4 kind of rasas are cool. How that desire, that greed is, we can increase more and more. At the same time, the struggles is actually pulling us no more. So can you help me out? Tug of war to come.
So, Prabhuji, I think you have more taste than you know. Gopi Bhagavad Samrita Diga. I mean, with a name like that, something in a name. When a spiritual master gives you a name, there's something in it. I mean, nowadays I walk around the world with the name Svayam Bhagavan. It's a little like, nowadays I have to shorten it to SB, because I also feel a little like, it's like heavy name, you know, it's like, SB is okay. So many people ask me, I'll come back to your question, but many people ask me like, Svayam Bhagavan, what is that meaning? Maybe I should, yeah, and then yesterday we were meeting with some AI person, not AI person, very nice. He's developing AI, so he said, Maharajji, I'll make an avatar for you in AI. So I already got the name Svayam Bhagavan. Now you're going to make an avatar. I'm going down. You know? But anyway, I'll come back to it. But yeah, just to let you know, just because many people ask me this question, like Svayam Bhagavan, what kind of name? Like, this is Krishna. So the reason my Guru Maharaj, he gave me that name is because he said, you should travel around the world and establish Krishna's tu Bhagavan Swayam. It's nothing. There's nothing more than that, just in case there's any doubts. But there's something in a name. It's nice. Like my name before was Sutapa, one who performs great austerities. So I realized, okay, now I need to do some austerity. Didn't do much, but so there's also something in the name. Taste. Gopi Bhav. One devotee was in Vrindavan and he said, you want to know what Gopi Bhav is? Gopi Bhav means at 70 years old, you come on board a ship with 40 rupees in your pocket, and you arrive in a land in which you don't know anyone and anything, and you try to teach people about Krishna. That is Gopi Bhav. Taste means one small reflection. Sometimes what happens is we are looking at what ecstasy looks like. And then we're looking at our life and we're feeling very far away. But we also have to look that we have got some taste. Where were we? Where are we now? By the grace of the Vaishnavas. No, Prabhu, I don't have any taste for chanting the holy name. But tomorrow if I told you, Gopi Bhav, Prabhu, hand over your beads. Tomorrow no chanting allowed. I'm sure you'd be in some corner. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. You can't live without chanting. Yes, maybe you have more taste than you know. But that taste needs to be expanded. And yes, we must be intense. Divrena, bhakti yogena. But intensity doesn't just mean like running around, doing many, many things. Like different people are intense in different ways. So I tell people, find an intensity that suits your personality so that you can maintain a consistency that awakens your purity. Be intense in your own way. You're an individual. You have your individual connections, your individual inspirations. Some people like Kirtan, some people like Bhagavatam, some people love the Dham. I lost my heart in Vrindavan. Hopefully you lost it to the right person. So whatever it may be, try to find some connection point. Krishna prema janme re panchiralpa sangha. Kaviraj Goswami says, just by association with Panchanga Bhakti. And then find people who have taste. You have to catch the virus. Find who is that Rasika who has. There was one devotee at the manor for many years. He was like the car park in charge, like the security man, Chokidar. He was a wonderful devotee. He was always reading Bhagavatam. And every time I came to him, he'd say, Prabhu, let me tell you what I read in Bhagavatam. Every time. There's no other conversation. I said, Prabhu, you're my real friend. Try to find those personalities. Sajatiya Sangha. We're trying, but you also did a lot of austerity in your life. You did. You did the mission, you're doing the mission. You all just went out for book distribution, cold showers. So you have some currency now to come in front of the holy name and beg Krishna. I'm trying, I'm not perfect, I'm trying. With whatever I have, please. So, I don't know, maybe we should end because a few more of our Matajis, if there's any questions. You have to go, yeah, sure.
My question is that, as you said, the only way is to develop love for Krishna. But while developing it, while being on the process, we go through a number of hurdles. It may be inappropriate chanting or our attachment in our relationships. So we end up developing subtle lust instead of love. So how shall we practice, like how shall we continue our practice of our love for Krishna?
In relationships specifically, you're talking?
Any relationship.
In any relationship. Yeah, in relationships we have in this world is very, very mixed. There's some love, but then there's attachment, there's some selfishness, there's some expectation. Maybe sometimes we're connecting to people still on a material level. It's very interesting, Kunti Maharani, when she prays to Krishna, then she says, Sneha pasham imam chindi dridam pandushu vrishnishu. She says, sever my tie of affection for the Pandavas and the Vrishnis. And then you think, but why you want to sever the tie? They're pure devotees. But even though they're pure devotees, what Kunti Maharani is teaching us is that because we relate to them in a familial way or a familiar way, then there's always the chance it can have a tinge of a material vision. I think all we can keep doing is in our relationships, just try and bring more and more Krishna in. Just try and bring Krishna as more and more central to that relationship. The spirituality of any relationship is dependent on three things. The vision you have of that person, the role that you play in their life, and the goal of why you're coming together. When your vision of that person is to see them as a spiritual being, no, Mataji, that's not your son. That's Krishna's child that you're looking after at the moment. When your vision is spiritual, when your role is that I am here to serve them to become, so that they can become the best they can in Krishna's service. And when the goal of your relationship is we're going to help each other to get closer to Krishna, then you can understand this relationship is more and more spiritual. I think the relationship with Sri Guru in this context is very, very special. Because in all other relationships of the world, there are many considerations. But when you connect with Guru, there's no other agenda save and except how we can serve Krishna. And therefore that relationship is very, very transcendental. But we have to try to make all our relationships move in that direction. I hope that helps.
Thank you so much.
Okay, I think...
Any other Mataji?
Wonderful lecture. I always learn something very new in your every lecture. I have questions from your previous lectures, Maharaj. As you always say that bhakti is an internal process and external thing doesn't affect. Then why it is said like we should be surrounded with only with devotees and we should visit dhams. So can you shed light on this?
Bhakti is an internal process, but the external factors are still affecting us. Therefore, in the beginning, we have to control the externals because we are very, very sensitive. We are very much influenced. Therefore, we keep a very, very steady atmosphere around us. We keep an inspiring atmosphere which then awakens the internal mood of bhakti. But eventually, when you become advanced enough, none of these things matter. Narayana para sarve nakutascha bhibyati svarga aparva narakeshu apitulyartha darshina. When one is advanced, whether they're in Svarga, whether they're in Narak, whether they're in Pavarga, the place, the Bhauma, Bhumandala, apitulyartha darshina, their darshan of all the places is the same.
because Narayana Parasarve, but we are not there. Therefore, we go to Vrindavan, we become inspired, we take shelter. We try to surround ourselves by devotees because it helps us. Is that okay?
Hare Krishna. Thank you for the wonderful lecture. I'm shivering right now. Maharaj, my question is very simple. I don't know if it's simple or not. Maharaj, my question is that how to carry out material activities in the light of Krishna consciousness? Because when we carry out material activities, there are many chances of getting affected by Maya, and so again we fall back or fall behind in our Krishna consciousness.
Don't always be worried about what could go wrong. Start getting excited about what could go right. This is what my spiritual master once said to me. He would tell me to do things and I would say, oh, what about when this and this difficult? And he said, stop being so fearful about what will go wrong. Start getting excited about how through this you can achieve wonderful things. So one person can go into their workplace and think, oh my God, I'm surrounded by karmis now, I'm surrounded by meat, I'm surrounded by all these things, I'm going to fall down, oh my God, asat sangha. What chance, Krishna, I'm falling into the material pool. Or the person can say, now I'm going to this place, I'm going to meet all these people. Maybe I can give them prasad. Maybe I can find some way to inject Krishna into the atmosphere. Wonderful opportunity to serve. See, same situation, different vision. Yes, some of you are mothers, some of you are wives, some of you play different roles. And we can always see it to be a hindrance, a problem, a diversion. But the devotee, they know that they can't adjust the winds of life, but they can adjust their sails to use those winds in such a way that it takes them to the destination they want to reach. So simply look at all your situations and try to see what opportunities are available. Does that make sense? Even in difficult situations, those are sometimes the best ones, because then you have to cry out to Krishna, help me, and then you make a lot of advancement. So some difficulty is good. Finish? Finish? Okay, last one.
We do have material ambitions, and sometimes they hinder in our spiritual activities, like while chanting, you constantly think if I've not achieved this, and it is meaningless to do bhakti if you have not achieved something in material life. And I know it is meaningless, but being a fallen soul, it has not come into realization that yes, material life is meaningless. So what to do in such situations?
So there are certain things you're trying to achieve in life, and from the ultimate point is meaningless, like achieving a promotion at work or something, or BSc, MSc, PhD, MAD. So we know it's all meaningless, but still we want it. It's only meaningless if you use it for a meaningless thing. If you use a meaningless qualification for the meaningless pursuit of trying to be happy in this world, then your life is meaningless. But if you use something that seems to be meaningless, but you start using it for a meaningful purpose, then that meaningless thing becomes meaningful and your life becomes meaningful. So Prabhupada didn't want everyone to become a sannyasi. Only a Mogalila Prabhu. Sorry, some devotees with Guru Maharaj's blessings, of course. Prabhupada didn't want to make a society of sannyasis. Srila Prabhupada told some devotees, go to university. They say in the West, the danda is not a stick. The danda is a PhD. But it has some meaning, right? Because in India, the danda means something. Someone sees a danda, some respect. Sorry, I'm leaning on this. Sorry. But in the West, danda, what does it mean? People walk around, rather than respecting you, they think you're strange. If you need a walking stick, I'll give you the one the right height. You don't need to carry so big, you know. Jayadvaita Maharaj, he told me, in the train, you know, if you're, in the train, if it's packed, then out of respect, if someone comes in, then you offer the seat. So he said, I get more respect in the train when I come in with a walking stick than if I come in with a danda. If you come in with a walking stick, like, no, please sit down, take a seat. If you come in with a danda, they think like, who is this crazy person? You stay standing. So they say in the West, the PhD is a danda. I'm not saying everyone has to do a PhD, but it can help. If you are successful in the world, you earn money, you become the most accomplished in your field, and then you go out into that field and people respect you for your success, and then you say, you respect me? Then if you respect me, let me share with you that the secret of it all is Krishna. Then you use it. So use it. Use your influence. Use your qualification. Use your abilities. Be ambitious. But don't do it for something meaningless. Do it for something meaningful. Do it to help people. Don't do it to control people. Do it to serve. Don't do it to enjoy. If you use it for that purpose, it's all glorious. And devotees should be the most successful in all fields. That's what Srila Prabhupada will be happy with. Thank you.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. Please accept my humble obeisance unto your lotus feet. Thank you so much for your divine association. My question is very internal. I already know that internally I am working on the process. Maybe my goal must be slow. But this Maya is very super fast. He that knows all the weak points which I am having. I am battling against my all the weak points. But before I work on my weak point, this Maya plays with those weak points and it brings me back again to the starting point. At the end of the day, I realize that I wasted my whole day. So there are a lot of obstacles as you mentioned, people in Kali Yuga, we have very short life. We are still in the laziness. We show that we are active, but internally I have laziness inside me. But this undisturbed mind, all those points, in realizing that I am the real which we mentioned here. How can I handle such things? I really want to work on my consciousness and want to become more faster than Maya, but this is very super fast. So what should I do?
Wow. Maharaj. Hare Krishna. These questions always come, it's like, last time I came here, those kids were there. I'm happy, are they still here? I'm happy, they were like, confuse the Swami questions, They were like very smart kids, well trained. What can I say? Your story is the story of the conditioned soul. Your story is not just your story. Your story is the story of everyone. Maya is chasing you every single day. But His Holiness Deva Mita Maharaj said, Maya is like a dog chasing you. But when you start running away from the dog, at the end of the day, you realize that the dog has chased you all the way back to the spiritual world. So we're running away. What can we do? Yaha Krishna taha nahi maya radhikar. Krishna surya sama hoya maya andhakar. I don't have any secret formula. I wish the danda was a magic wand. Sometimes people, ding, I wish. We have to continue. Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami is saying, Durgame patimain dhasya skalat pada gater muhu svakripa yastidanena shantasham tvavalambanam. My path is very difficult. I'm slipping again and again. But the stick of the mercy of the Vaishnavas is holding me up. Without understanding your specific situation, I can't say anything specific here. I can only tell you what you probably don't want to hear, which is you have to carry on with patience, with enthusiasm, with determination. You have to carry on with that lamentation that, no, I'm falling short, I'm not doing good. But at the same time, you need to carry on with positivity and look at progress, not perfection. And every day try to bring more Krishna into your life. And then over time you'll realize, oh, I changed. Maybe you won't realize it day to day. Just like when we look in the mirror, we don't see our hair growing day to day. Nowadays, my hair doesn't grow at all. Sika is getting lower. That signifies life is getting shorter. So we don't see the hair growing every day, but then we see over time, oh, something has changed. So be introspective, try to see how to bring more Krishna in, look for inspiring spiritual experiences. Take a risk for Krishna, come out of the comfort zone. Extend yourself to others. That's a big secret. If you try to take others towards Krishna, Krishna helps in unimaginable ways. These are all the secrets of mercy. So be a mercy hunter, because to overcome Maya, we won't do it without mercy. So be hungry, find the mercy. Just like Narad Muni in the Brihat Bhagavatamrita, who's trying to find out who got the most mercy from Krishna. Find out and get the mercy, and then everything will work. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much. There's more questions.
In case you are comfortable.
I am comfortable, but is everyone comfortable? Because I just feel always a little like I'm holding people. This is like, so I don't know, like, because it's a Friday, no? Busy day. Day of prayers. So what to do? Shall we do one more? Okay, Prabhu. All right, last one then. Last one.
My question is, my family members, they call me crazy.
Me too.
Morning 4 o'clock, taking bath, then sitting down on the bath, doing all these things. They call me Mr. Crazy, disturbing all of that.
I think they're right. They're crazy.
I don't know how to explain that, but very difficult.
Yeah, one time my mother, she came to me and she said, "Can't you just be normal?" It's too late, you know. It's too late. And then I heard a quote by Bhakti Tirtha Swami, and he said, "Those who are now considered normal accept the values and principles of an insane world." So if people are telling you, you're not quite normal, you should think, I'm doing good. If they look at you and say, "Oh yeah, he is normal," then you realize, no, you don't want to be normal. Insane world. Nunam pramate kurute vikarma yad indriya pritaya apranoti. People are mad in this world after sense gratification. So we think they're mad, they think we're mad, maybe we're all mad. Mahaprabhu looked at Ramananda Rai and he said, "Ami eka batul tumi dvitiya batul ataeva amai tamai hoya samatul." Said, "You are one madman, I am one other madman, and when two mad people come together, they become even more mad." So we are, what to say, are we mad? Maybe, or we are mad. Maybe everyone's mad. Maybe everyone's crazy. It never made any sense to me. You earn money, you save it, you spend it, people take it away from you, and then ultimately you lose it all anyway. To me, that sounded mad. Therefore, early retirement. Early retirement plan. One my uncle, he came to me, he said, why don't you get a job? I said, I have a job. He said, what kind of job you have? I said, no, I have a job. He said, who are you working? I said, Prabhupada's my boss. Then he looked at me, he said, no, this is all word jugglery. He said, if you're working, if you got a job, how much are you getting paid? So I said, I don't know about the salary, but the retirement plan is out of this world. He still wasn't convinced. Manushanam sahasreshu kashkit yatati siddhaye. Out of many thousands of people, one may endeavor, and out of those who are endeavoring, maybe one will achieve it. So know that you'll always be in the minority. But the goal of life is not to be in the majority. The goal is to be with Krishna. But over time, all of those people who tell you you're mad, you're crazy, over time even they come. Trust me. They will come. Eventually you'll become the guru. Trust me, it happens. They will come and they will say, no, actually you are right. Can you give us some answers? Then you have to tell them, Tadvidi, Pranipatena. Sit. Then they will submit before you. No, it will happen. For sure. You just be happy. Prabhupada said, preaching is easy business. Just show people how happy you are. People can come out with 1,000,001 arguments. If you're happy, no one can argue with you. Because no one's happy. Doesn't matter how much they try to. No, I'm happy. I am happy. No, you're not. No, I'm happy. They become even more angry to tell you they're happy. No, you're not happy. Be happy. Then no one can argue. There's no. Rise Krishna consciousness. Hare Krishna. Thank you. Srila Prabhupada ki